I was reading some statements for the New World Order by some of the people who are in power, and they're basically puppets. They don't realize that they're puppets sometimes, but many instances they know full well that they are puppets of those powers that are behind the scenes. And we won't have time to get into who these people are today, and perhaps we can come back and do another program on who they are. But one of the statements I want to read you is from Henry Kissinger. It was stated at the World Affairs Council press conference in Regent Beverly Wilshire Hotel, April 19th, 1994. Henry Kissinger. It said, "The New World Order cannot happen without U.S. participation, as we are the most significant single component." And that's because we've been financing it, folks. That's why we were the most significant component, because where do you think our tax money's been going and why they have all these ridiculous bills? It says, yes, there will be a new world order, and it will force the United States to change its perceptions. Statement by Henry Kissinger. Douglas MacArthur, who I have great respect for, and Douglas MacArthur was a Christian, he made this comment. "I am concerned for the security of our great nation, not so much because of any threat from without, but because of the insidious forces working from within." Who are those forces, and what do they intend to do? This New World Order that Rodney's been talking about and I've been talking about is talked about in the Bible. It's uncovered in the Bible and told about it. In the book of Revelations, it talks about this world government that's going to come into effect, or into place. And God's going to allow it as His judgment upon a world that has rejected His Son. Now, this is a statement I want to make by a man who created, or was one of the main people who created an organization that became a break-off into many different organizations once they were uncovered. And this is an oath, or the persons that these people take an oath to, because of who they believe is the actual one who should be running this world system. This is a comment made by Albert Pike, who wrote the book Morals and Dogma of Freemasonry. I have his book, and anyone who wants to see that, and I'm sure that there are some Masons who have that book also, because it's like the Bible of the Illumined Freemasons. And let me say first, I know that all Freemasons are not part of this plan by a long shot. Most are deceived and don't even understand what's going on. They don't realize what their funds are really going to in the end. But these Masons believe they are traveling down a path of enlightenment, and they are not. The ones who are hand-selected, though, to go into the illuminated Freemasons, or the illuminated lodges, who are actually part of the original Illuminati started by Adam Weishaupt, know full well what's going on. And so let me make a statement. Albert Pike was selected to head the Illuminati in America. He was also a Confederate general during the War of the Confederacy. But let me read a statement that he made. And his statue, by the way, is in Washington, D.C. He's highly respected among the Illumined Freemasons as one of the great people in Freemasonry. But it says, "To you, Sovereign Grand Instructors General, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degrees. The Masonic religion shall be, by all of us initiates of the high degrees, maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. If Lucifer were not God, would Adonai, the Christian God, whose deeds prove his cruelty, the cruelty and perfidy and hatred of man, barbarism and illuminate him? Yes, Lucifer is God, and unfortunately Adonai is also God, for the eternal law is that there is no light without shade, no beauty without ugliness, no white without black, for the absolute can only exist as two gods, darkness being necessary to light, to serve as its foil, as the pedestal is necessary to the statue, and the brake to the locomotive." Now listen to this. The doctrine of Satan is a heresy. They don't believe in the devil. They believe in Lucifer. Same thing, but they don't realize this because they put Lucifer on high as the God that they worship. The doctrine of Satanism is a heresy, and the true and pure philosophic religion is the belief in Lucifer. the equal of Adonai, but Lucifer, God of light and God of good, is struggling for humanity against Adonai, the God of darkness and evil. Now that is the mindset of these people, the ones who are truly behind the scenes. And like I say, on another program, perhaps we can get into who they are and what organizations are present. We've mentioned some of them already. And this is why it's a spiritual warfare, a spiritual battle. And if you don't see it as that, you will never correct America. America can never be corrected now unless there is a true God-sent revival. And that means individual Christians repenting of their own personal sins and this nation repenting of its national sins. Without that, this nation is doomed. It will never come out of the scrap heap that we're being thrown into right now. But our hope is in Jesus Christ and Him alone, not our politician by any means of the imagination. Rodney, I'd like for you to go ahead and continue what you were talking about.
Yes, I'd like to read something to you folks. I'd like to bring this to you, a question in my mind, should I do this? Because we're certainly not trying to do anything that would cause you people to be puzzled, in turmoil, or cause you to believe that we're trying to cause you to be fearful. We want to bring out the truth.
In fact, if I could interject, Rodney,
Yeah.
you know, if you are a Christian, the Bible says that God has not given us a spirit of fear.
That's right.
And so we should not fear this thing. This is what God told us was going to happen.
And He said rejoice.
And He said rejoice, because His day is coming where He's going to bring a righteous kingdom in that cannot be bought off or anything like that. It'll be a pure righteous kingdom under Jesus Christ at the end of the time when He destroys this world government, this getting ready to come into being.
Now, you got to understand, if you watch the History Channel, Roosevelt was a 33rd degree Mason. And one of the things that I found in research over the years was a book called Red Fog Over America. Red Fog Over America was written by William Guy Carr. He was commander of the Royal Canadian Navy, retired. The book that I have in my hand is the 4th edition, October 1968. Turning to page 120, the top of the page. Now I want you to listen to this, folks, because this is going to shock you if nothing else does. Back now. We must turn back and pick up the path in which Christ started us out, and at that point where we left it. To prove the dangers I name exist, I quote from a report from a secret committee of President Roosevelt on March 4th, 1939. I am making no concessions to business for relief. I have a military machine sufficient to stop any organized revolt. I am putting my people ahead of all instruments. I have a full understanding with Chamberlain and will destroy the unemployment condition with a war, and a war only. Now listen to this statement. To hell with the American people as far as the democracy is concerned. It does not exist. It never did, and will never let it happen that way. I'm going to crush businesses, infest America with as many aliens as possible, and in a last analysis declare martial law and confiscate everything I need for a true and forceful dictatorship. My New Deal is a failure. I know it, but no one else is going to tell me that I must discontinue my present activities and program. From a secret audience with a Military Appropriations Committee, a Ways and Means Committee, a Special War Finance Committee, this copy was presented to me by mail through Senator Loudon. Folks, what does it take to make you realize that our Constitution is not in effect? What does it take? We can sit around and say, oh, this is not happening. We can believe that, oh, this is just fear-mongers. But the documents are here. We're here showing you that in our state, on April 3rd, 1933, the bar became a non-profit private corporation. It's not part of the U.S. or the North Carolina government.
We are coming up on the top of the hour break. We will be back next hour and continue with Pastor Gary Frey and Mr. Rodney